Olivia, Kaylee, and Vicky had just finished a brutal 24-hour shift with the National Guard. And by the time they hugged goodbye, they were running on pure habit and friendship. They laughed, wished each other a good weekend, and headed back to their own apartments, still carrying that tired but wired feeling that always comes after a long shift. The three young women had become close through those endless hours together. And even after exhausting days, they still felt like a team. Olivia got home first, changed clothes, pulled on loose track pants, sneakers, and a small sports top, then headed out for a long run through the park. Vicky made it home, dropped onto her sofa in jogging pants, a t-shirt, and sneakers, and let the television play while she slowly drifted towards sleep. Kaylee got back to her apartment too, but the second she stepped inside, she felt something was wrong. The place did not look like hers anymore, because strange hippie decorations were mixed in with her normal things, and the whole room felt changed in a way she could not explain. Kaylee immediately took out her service weapon and searched the apartment room by room, moving carefully and calling out, but she found no one. Then, without warning, a handsome young man was standing in the living room as if he had always been there. Kaylee swung her weapon toward him and demanded to know who he was and what he had done in her apartment. He did not rush her, and he did not look afraid. He just stared at her and said, in a calm American voice, "Look deep into my eyes." Kaylee tried to hold her ground, but her pupils widened, her shoulders dropped, and the tension drained out of her body. Her weapon slipped from her hand and hit the floor, and she stood there in a strange trance, quiet and completely open to his words. The young man told her to go to her bedroom and change clothes, and she obeyed without any resistance at all. A few minutes later, Kaylee walked back out wearing a hippie bell-bottom outfit with the wide legs hanging over platform shoes, a hippie top, and a loose kimono. Her hair had been restyled, and a flower crown sat across her head as if she had stepped out of another time. The man kissed her deeply, took her hand, and guided her back into the living room. Kaylee followed every instruction he gave her, even when he handed her a joint and told her to smoke. Then he noticed a photo on the mantle showing Kaylee with Olivia and Vicky, and he told her to call them. Kaylee said nothing. She simply picked up the phone and obeyed him, inviting them over late at night for what sounded like some sudden party. Olivia had just gotten back from a hard 15-kilometer jog, still wearing her loose track pants, sneakers, and sports top, while Vicky was half asleep on her sofa in jogging pants, a t-shirt, and sneakers when she got the call. Both of them thought it was strange that Kaylee wanted them over so late, but curiosity won. They met at the entrance to her building, talking quietly about how odd the whole thing felt, then went upstairs together and rang the bell. Kaylee opened the door and both women froze for a second. She stood there with a joint between her fingers, wearing the bell-bottom pants over platform shoes, the hippie top, the kimono, the flower crown, and the strange, dreamy expression that did not look like her at all. Loud hippie music was filling the apartment. At first, Olivia and Vicky did not see anyone else inside, and Kaylee's behavior felt so off that both of them instantly became uneasy. Then suddenly, the handsome young man appeared beside her, and he kissed her again with a level of intimacy that made the room feel even stranger. Olivia and Vicky stared, confused and guarded, and they wanted to know who this man was and whether Kaylee was actually okay. Before they could even ask, he walked straight toward them with the same calm, unreadable expression and said, "Look deep into my eyes." Neither of them could resist whatever force was in his voice. Their pupils widened just like Kaylee's had. Their bodies relaxed, and both women slipped into the same deep trance. He told them to go into Kaylee's bedroom and change clothes, and they obeyed in total silence. A few minutes later, Olivia and Vicky returned wearing their own hippie outfits. They both had bell-bottom pants that draped over platform shoes, and their hair had been restyled into the same soft flowing look. Olivia wore a hippie blouse, while Vicky wore a hippie top, and both of them looked as transformed as Kaylee. The young man kissed all three women, and the apartment, full of smoke and loud music, felt like the center of some dream none of them could wake from. Soon after, he led them out of the apartment and took them away together. He brought the three friends to a hippie commune, where other young women were already living in similar clothes, with flower crowns, flowing hair, bell-bottom pants over platform shoes, tops, blouses, and kimonos. The whole place felt cut off from the world, like a hidden pocket of time and control. Olivia, Kaylee, and Vicky were given a hut of their own, and for a while they stayed under the spell, moving through that place like they belonged there. But something in Olivia was not fully gone. Little by little, Olivia began fighting through the trance. She still wore the bell-bottom pants, the blouse, and the altered hairstyle. But inside her mind, she was pushing back. At last, she broke free enough to think clearly. And once that happened, she knew she had to find the man who had done this to them. She searched the commune, found his hut, and stepped inside. Expecting another confrontation, instead, she found him lying dead on the ground. Olivia looked around the hut and discovered papers near his body, including a medical report showing that he had been suffering from an untreatable illness. That detail did not explain everything, but it changed the shape of the mystery in an instant. She called the police and an ambulance, and they came to remove the body and begin sorting out what had happened at the commune. In the end, Olivia, Kaylee, and Vicky made it through something none of them could have imagined. After that ordinary goodbye, at the end of a long shift, and the three friends came out of it even closer than before. Some weekends change your life forever, and this was one of them.